Sometimes as we're walking down through the high street in London or down through Cardiff or various parts of the world, New York City or something, we'll see these chaps walking along, and as you know they're the Hare Krishnas. They're banging on their drums and the cymbals, long flowing robes, and they've got the shaven heads, haven't they, with the hair at the back, and they're there and they're singing to Krishna, Rama, Rama, Krishna, and they're worshipping Krishna. And as you chat with them, they're lovely people, genuine people seeking God. But it's interesting, who is Krishna? Many of us have seen the artwork of Krishna where he's depicted as this either like a child or a young person. Generally he's blue, sometimes he's black, and he'll have the flute in his hands. And now with his flute, what he did, he went to his favourite spot in the forest and he began to play. And as he played, he attracted all the cowherders' wives and their daughters. His playing was so amazing that he whips them all up into a frenzy. And, as the Krishna story goes, even the gods and the people who had died came down to the earth to see what was going on. And there they discover Krishna playing his flute, and he is seducing all of the cowherd women. He seduced them all because of his amazing flute playing. Now, it's interesting that when we speak sometimes to our Hare Krishna friends, they're very quick to say to us, but you Christians, Jesus and Krishna are the same. And they would base that on a book called the Bhagavad-Gita, and in chapter 9, verse 23 of the Bhagavad-Gita, and this translation was translated by Will Johnson, my old Hindu professor, and it says in verse 23, even those who are devotees of other gods and sacrifice to them full of faith really sacrifice to me. So Krishna is saying, if you sacrifice to any other god, that sacrifice is coming to me. And so therefore, when we offer up our worship of praise and of sacrifice to the Lord Jesus, the Krishna says you're actually worshipping Krishna. Well, the interesting thing is, isn't it? If Jesus and Krishna are the same, then there's a complete contradiction. Because in the Gospel of John, chapter 14:6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by me. Here we're seeing that Jesus is the only way to his Father. Jesus is the only way to heaven. The only way to escape the reincarnation cycle, if it were true, it is to believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. The only way to escape from our sin is to believe in the Lord Jesus, and he is the truth. Even one of Rama Krishna's devotees actually said Christianity sees itself as the only truth. And the reason Christians see Christianity, Jesus Christ, as the only truth is because Jesus called himself the truth. He is the truth. He is the way. None of us can get into heaven except through believing in the Lord Jesus Christ. So we see here that the Bhagavad-Gita and the Bible teach two very, very different things. The Lord Jesus Christ, he came from heaven. He came to earth. He died for the sins of the world, so that if we confess our sin to him, turn from our idolatry, turn from our Eastern meditation, and accept the Lord Jesus Christ into our hearts, he will cleanse us with his precious blood, give us everlasting life, grant us enlightenment of God the Father, so that we may live with him and dwell with him in perfect peace, in the place where the lion and the lamb shall dwell together in perfect harmony. So I would say to my many Krishna friends out there who are lovely people, sadly, one is following a deception, because Jesus is the truth. We also know that Jesus cannot lie. It's impossible for God to lie, for the Lord Jesus. Nowhere do we see the Lord Jesus Christ seducing the wives and the daughters of cowherders like Krishna did. In fact, the Bible even talks about seducing spirits. We must be careful that we are not seduced by spirits or by our own sin, but let us look to the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life.